Hello and welcome to Data Communication and Networking Lecture Series. Myself Rima Rawal from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Electronics and Communication. In today's session, we are going to discuss the topic switching techniques from the unit physical layer. So let's start with that. First of all, let us understand what is switching. So in larger networks, there are multiple paths available from the sender to receiver. So a switching system is required to decide which path is to be selected from all the available routes. So it can be defined as selecting a path that data must take out from the available options. So this is the basic definition of switching system. Now let us consider the different types or different techniques of switching systems. Now switching techniques or switching methods has basically three types. The first type is circuit switching, second is message switching, the third one is packet switching. Now, in circuit switching, there is a dedicated physical path established between the transmitter and receiver before the data is being transmitted. And once the data is established, the data travels through that available path. That means for each and every user, there must be a unique path available for data transfer. Whereas in message switching, whenever the message arrives, the available path is to be used for message transmission. Then in packet switching, the packets are to be traveled from any of the available path. There is not compulsory that the packet is to be traveled through the particular established path. Okay. Now in circuit switching there are two types. First one is space division switching and the second one is time division switching. Similarly, in packet switching, there are two approaches. The first one is datagram approach and the second one is virtual circuit approach. Now in virtual circuit approach, there are again two types. The first one is switched virtual circuit, that is SVC, and the second one is permanent virtual circuit, that means PVC. We are going to consider all of these switching techniques and methods in details and what are the advantages of it and which one is best among all of these three available techniques. So let's start with the first technique, that is circuit switching. Now, as we have discussed earlier, in circuit switching there has to be a dedicated physical path available or that is to be established between the transmitter and the receiver before the data is to be sent. So when a dedicated path is established for the data transmission between sender and receiver, it is called as circuit switching. So when any network node wants to send data, whether it can be audio, text, video, or any type of information, a call request signal is sent to the receiver and acknowledged back to ensure the availability of dedicated path. So when this dedicated path is available, it is then used to send the data. So here the communication has three phases. The first one is circuit establishment state. In this state, whenever the data is required to be sent, the sender will look out for the available dedicated path and the physical circuit is established. After the circuit establishment stage is done, then the data is being transferred to the second stage is data transfer stage, and whenever the data transfer is completed entirely, the third stage and the last stage is circuit disconnect stage. That means now the path is out of availability. Okay, so these are the basic three phases of circuit switching. First one is circuit establishment phase, second one is data transfer phase, and the third one is circuit disconnect phase. Okay, now let us consider one diagram in which circuit switching is shown. As you can see here, it is a transmitter A and the transmitter B. To send the data from A to B, there are multiple paths available. That means, as you can see, it can travel through S1, S2, S4, S6. It can travel through S1, S3, S5, S6, as well as it can travel through S1, S3, S4, S6. Similarly, it can travel through S1, S2, S3, S5, S6, S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, and then S6. So there are multiple paths available for any data to be sent between A to B. Here, this is selecting the path S1, S2, S4 and S6. So after the path is available, the messages are being transmitted. The message 1 is transmitted first, so it is delivered first to the receiver B. Now let us consider the two switching. First one is space division switching. In this, if the coded values are transferred in the same time interval from the input to output, the technique is called as space division switching. That means here the input and output timing are same. The time interval is not different. In contrast with this, the next is time division switches. In this, if the values are stored and transferred to the output at a late time interval, that means not at the same time, this technique is called as time division switches. Okay. Now let us see what is message switching. This is the diagram of message switching. As you can see, different messages are traveled through different available paths from source A to destination B. So when this form of switching is used, there is no physical path that is to be established in advance between the sender and receiver, unlike circuit switching. Instead, when the sender has a block of data to be sent, it is stored first in the switching office, that is your router, and then it is forwarded later, one hop at a time. Here one hop at a time, that means one message at a time. Here each block is received in its entirety, inspected of errors and then retransmitted. So as the messages are inspected for errors and then being transmitted, this is called as store and forward network. So the network which uses message switching is also called as store and forward network. Next is packet switching. This is a diagram of packet switching. As you can see, each and every packets are traveled through the different routes. Okay, here packet numbers are packet number 1, 2, 3 and 4. It is not required that all the packets should travel from the same route. That can be divided and then transferred through the available path. So the packet switching is a switching technique in which the message is sent in one go, but it is divided into smaller pieces and they are sent individually. The message splits into smaller pieces known as packets, and packets are given a unique number to identify their order at the receiving end, so that all the packets are received correctly in order. There are two approaches of packet switching. First one is datagram packet switching and the second one is virtual circuit switching. Now let us consider these two in detail. It is a packet switching technology in which packet is known as datagram and it is considered as an independent entity. And here each packet contains the information about the destination and switch uses this information to forward the packet to the correct destination. So this is also called as connection-less switching. Whereas in virtual circuit, a pre-planned route is established before the messages are sent. Here call request and call accept packets are used to establish the connection between the sender and the receiver, and it is also called as connection oriented switching. So datagram packet switching is referred to as a connection-less switching, whereas virtual circuit switching is referred to as a connection. Okay, so these are the basic two approaches of packet switching. Now let us see one diagram. In this, the process of signal transmission or data transmission is shown. As you can see, this is a sender A and this is the receiver B, and there are in between nodes 1 and 2. Whenever a sender has any data to send, it will send a call request signal to the receiver, and whenever receiver is ready to accept the signal, it will send back the call accept signal. After receiving the call accept signal, the data transfer is being done. When the data transfer is completely achieved, the receiver will send the acknowledgement signal of the data, and whenever the acknowledgement signal is received, the sender will send the clear data so that it indicates that the channel is now available for transmission for further data. So this is the process how a data is being transferred from source to destination or from sender to receiver. Let us see the advantages of packet switching. First one, it is cost effective. That means in larger network, when you have larger number of packets that has to be handled carefully, it will lead to a cost effective system as compared to circuit switching and message switching. Because in circuit switching, for each and every user, a dedicated physical path is to be established that cannot be used by other users. So it will lead to a very large number of physical paths which will lead to a highly costly system. So in packet switching, a larger network can be handled effectively. The second advantage is reliable. This packet switching is highly reliable because each and every packet that has to be transmitted are delivered correctly without any error to the destination. And the third one is it is efficient. So these are the main advantages of packet switching. Let us consider the timing of events for each and every switching system, so it can give you the clear idea about the difference between these three switching systems. Here in figure A, it indicates the circuit switching, figure B indicates the message switching, and figure C indicates the packet switching. Let us consider the first circuit switching system. Here, first the call request signal is made through all the channels. Here A, B, B, C and C, D are the trunks or channels available. Whenever the call request signal is done, it will spend the time for hunting for an outgoing trunk, and whenever the trunk or channel is available, it will send the call accept signal, and after that the data is being transferred. Here the slant line indicates that the call accept time is not same for each and every channel, and here there is one biggest time is for time spent hunting for an outgoing trunk. Now in message switching, there are two types of delays. First one is propagation delay and the second one is queuing delay. Now what propagation delay is, whenever a transmitter sends any message, it is not necessary that at the same time the receiver receives the message. There will be some time delay. So the time instant may be different from receiver to transmitter. So this is the propagation delay, and another is queuing delay. That means whenever there are more number of messages are traveled in a queue, there will be a delay, so which is called as queuing delay. So these are the main two delays in message switching. And the third one is packet switching. As you can see, packet number 1, 2 and 3 can travel through any of the available channel according to the requirement. So these are the basic three types of switching systems. I hope now this is clear to you, the basic difference between the switching systems. These are the references you can refer through further knowledge. And this is the GTU syllabus and the textbook which can be beneficial for you, Computer Networks by NGS Tannenbaum, 5th edition by Pearson Education. You can even refer to 4th edition as well. Thank you.
Now let us see one video which can make your concept more clear.
Created using Powtoon.